kind of sale, this count is expected to go to 500. Now, if the count is becoming 500, it means I need more such servers to take care of the capacity which I have. So I saw that there was a problem with on-prem applications. So I went to my cloud premises and I said that I will get the servers on demand. Whatever I need, I will just get that done. So now I am getting the servers, but these servers are bare metal or they are brand new machines. I say these are bare metal or brand new machines. Now this brand new machine is raw. It does not have any software. It means I still have to do the software installation, the hardware upgrade, the software patching, the OS patching, hardware upgrade, all those things I still have to do. So it is a time-consuming process for me. So what companies thought is, can I get something called IAC or infrastructure as a code? So when I go for infrastructure as a code, I can treat the deployment also as a code. So earlier, for an EC2 instance, if I have to launch an EC2 instance, what I was doing, I was going and writing I was going and clicking on the screen. But now, without clicking on the screen, by writing a code, which is either in a YAML format or JSON format, I will be able to work with that. Okay, so this concept of writing the infrastructure and the infrastructure will be written as a code is known as IAC, infrastructure as a code. And when I talk about infrastructure as a code, I will be able to deploy this n number of times. So when you deal with outside world, you will have something called Terraform. Does not mean that Terraform does not work on AWS, but generally when I say Terraform is cloud native, means it is compatible with almost everything. So it is compatible with your Azure, GCP, AWS, Kubernetes, wherever you want, you can implement Terraform. So it's a generic one. But if you talk about cloud AWS specifically, you have, this is CloudFormation, which is specific to AWS. Both of them do the same task, but in CloudFormation, the good thing is that you get a designer. So designer is a graphical designer where you can do drag and drop and create things as per your requirement. Okay, so today we will talk about this CloudFormation and we will start working with this. So let me take out this. Now, when I come to CloudFormation, I will simply log into my console. Let me just say CloudFormation. So it says create and manage resources with templates. Now the question is, who will give me these templates? Where will I get these templates from? So AWS also knows that when you start your work, you will have a very tough time to begin with because initially you will not be very good. So what they will do is they give you something like this. There are many GitHub repositories. Like there is one such repository, which is AWS Labs. So this is AWS Labs, which is owned by Google, AWS only. Okay, it is owned by AWS only. And here, if you see, there are 682 repositories and 4 projects. So there are many such repositories like AWS CloudFormation template. If you come here, you will see hundreds and thousands of templates present here. And there are community which will go ahead and give you the solution. Whatever you want, you will get the solution. So this is one such repository. Then there is one more such repository, AWS Labs. I just now showed you. Then you will have, come here, it's AWS samples. AWS samples. Here, if you see, there are 3.6K, means 36,000 repositories available. And there will be many repositories which will help you to get your work done. Okay. Not only this, on the documentation of AWS also, you will get a lot of content like AWS CloudFormation template. So AWS CloudFormation template, here also you will get lots of templates. Okay. Sample solutions, framework, So you will get lots and lots of templates. So basically to get started, you will have hundreds and thousands of templates available with you. You just have to just go ahead and deploy them. But you should know what are you deploying and how to deploy it. So we'll start with a small thing. We'll not go with the very big thing in the very beginning. So we'll start with a very small thing. So if you come here, 1 second, let me go to North Virginia. Okay, I am into the wrong account. Let me just log out of this account. Okay, so I'll go to CloudFormation. And here I will start from here, create stacks. Now, the important thing what it talks about here is a CloudFormation provides a common language. Now, this language can be JSON, this language can be YAML to describe and provision all your infrastructure. So when I say infrastructure, I'm talking about my EC2, S3, Lambda, and all those things in your environment in safe and repeatable manner. So why is it saying safe? Because at the end of the day, this code, whatever I have, I can store it in my repository wherever I have. And repeatable means the same piece of code can run multiple times. So let me say I have to run the same piece of code in AWS dev region, then I am running it in prod region. So like that, you can go ahead. Okay, so I can go ahead and use it in a repeatable manner in dev region, in test region. I just need the code, I can run it and I will get my work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here and say I'm going to create a stack. Now, when you start with the stack, there are 3 options which you can do. Like the template is already ready. The template is coming from a sample which you will deploy, or the template is coming from the designer. So when you start your work for the first time, I will request you to start here, create a template with designer, because here you can use simple drag and drop technique to get your work done. If you just do a drop down here, you are here, create the template in designer, create the template in designer. And you can come here and do a drag and drop. So when I say drag and drop, let me say I'll start with a very simple thing. I'll just create a S3 bucket. So S3 is storage component. I know S3. Come here, S3. Come here, and I'll simply do a drag and drop like this. So I've created a bucket, and the code can either be JSON or YAML. So I will go with YAML because YAML is comparatively better. I'll go with template, and I can see this code here. Okay, I would like to change the name here. So let me just scroll down a little bit and I can change the name of this. So now the name is something like this, S3 something. So I'll say S3 bucket, and today's date is 07/06/2022, something like this. And I will just come here and say the designer is out of date. So I'll just refresh the designer and I can see the latest name which I have given is popping up here. Then I can simply deploy this code. While deploying this code, I will wait for now the template is ready because with that designer, a code has been generated and it has been put here in my temporary bucket. Now you can simply go say next, and you can enter a stack name. So you can give anything, S3 CloudFormation. As of now, if you want to pass some runtime variables, you can use parameter. I don't have any, so I will leave it. Next. Tags, if you want, you can give. Now, one thing which is very important is permission. So you need to create a permission, or you need to create an IAM role with the help of which you will be able to communicate, because my CloudFormation is going to do a lot of things for me. So I need to give relevant permission to this CloudFormation. So I'll come to IAM. From IAM, I'll go to role, and from role, I will attach the required policy, because at the end of the day, CloudFormation has to communicate with these people. So you can come down here and you can go to role, create a role. You can come here and say who's going to use it. So you will say CloudFormation is going to use it. CloudFormation is going to use it. Then you can say this is CloudFormation for me. Next. And what kind of access would you like to give? So to start with, you can give S3 full access. Okay. Or I need a generic one. So I will give administrator access. Administrate admin. So I will give administrator access because I will do many things with this role. But yes, in prod scenario, you give only the access which is required. So next, give a role name. You can come here and say CloudFormation admin. You can put like this. And then you can simply come down and create the role. Create the role. So this role will get created. You can view the role. And you can take this ARN. So either take the ARN or the name. Both will work. Come here. So it is saying the ARN. So come and provide the ARN. Okay. So it will say CloudFormation will use this role and it will create everything for you. And then you say, if it fails, if it is not able to create, what would you do? So I'll roll back. And in advanced option, if you want to connect to some VPC or anything like that, you can mention it here. Else you can leave everything and say next. Here it is saying the template is ready. The cost will be involved. It is not covered under free tier. So whatever cost will be involved will be mentioned here. Then you can go all the way down here and you can say, I want to create a stack. Now creating a stack is nothing but using that YAML code or using that code, I want to create an item. So that item for me is a S3 bucket, a simple S3 bucket, which I could have also created by going to console and clicking on the buttons. But probably I don't want to do that thing again and again. If I have to create 100 buckets, I can't go 100 times and create that bucket. So I'll create a template like this and I can run it in a loop, or I can say the count is 100. So 100 S3 buckets will be created. Okay. So as of now, it says creation in progress. If you refresh here, you're in the event section. You can see here, it says S3 bucket. This has been complete. The creation is complete. And I can go back to my S3 bucket and just check if such bucket has been created or not. Another good thing is reusability is one thing. Second is you do not have to manage anything manually. The infra will be created automatically. And once you want, you can delete it automatically. So you can come here. See here the name. It is being created by S3 CloudFormation. So it's saying S3 CloudFormation. S3 bucket 0706 2022 and then some numbers, and it has been created in Mumbai. It has been created 1880, means sometime back it has been created. So this is how I create my stuff. Once this is created, if you want to delete it manually, then you are increasing your trouble. You can simply go here and you can say I don't want this, or in case you want to make changes, you can go ahead and update it in case you want to make some changes. If you don't want it, you can delete it. Whatever code you have written will be visible here in the template section. The code will be visible here. So this code, you can go and put it in your GitHub or any place, and you can keep using it 1,000 times. So you can anytime go back and say that I want to update this or I want to delete this. Once update is done, you can see the drift. Drift is, suppose I'm changing something. So how much or what all is getting changed, I can see in the drift. Okay, many times what happens is we are updating something, but accidentally we update something additional. So that and all will be seen here in the drift. Create a change set. So it will just tell you what all are going to change, all these things. Edit termination protection. So nobody will be able to terminate. Import resource into a stack. So many times, suppose you have created an infrastructure, okay, and you want to replicate that. So you can import it, means the code will be imported into this, and view in application manager means it will show you how it is running. Anyhow, at this point of time, I don't want to keep it. So simply I can go ahead and say, I want to delete the stack. The moment I say delete the stack, in the event section, you will see the delete will start. And in a minute or two, this entire will be saying delete completed. And if you come back here, this bucket will get deleted automatically. So managing the infrastructure will become very easy in case you're dealing with CloudFormation. This is one action. The second action can be that you are creating something, but this time you're not creating or you're not doing everything from scratch. Rather, you are using a template which is already there. So I'll say I'll use a sample template, and I will go ahead and say that the first one, Lamb stack, is what I'm going to use. And in this single EC2 instance, one second. In this single EC2 instance, locally MySQL database and other components will be installed. So let me just go ahead and see view in designer. So how will this look like? So if you see carefully, this is looking very simple. Do IAM role also deleted? No, IAM role will not be deleted. You have to go ahead and delete your IAM role in case you want to delete it. So if you see here, this is a very simple setup. There is one web server, there is one security group. Okay, but the code which is not that straightforward, not that simple. Okay, so I'll show you the code also. Now let me just come here, maximize this. So this is the code. So JSON is not good. So first is you go to YAML, take this code and do a Control-A, Control-C, come to some editor which you have already used. Put it here. Now, always try to put it into an editor where the readability is better. So you can go with Visual Studio Code, or you can go with any editor like that. But what I am interested in is I'm trying to see how many sections are there in this code. So if you broadly classify, the code which we have has 5 sections: description, parameter, mapping, resource, and output. Out of these 5 parameters, the resource parameter is something which is mandatory. It is mandatory. All the others are optional. To start with, the first one is description. So you can easily understand this is a description. This will tell what work is going to happen. Okay, before coming to this, I will go here and I will try to launch this. Okay, I will launch this. So to launch this, simply you have to come here and create a stack like this. And you see launching the stack is started. This activity has started. Template is ready. Go all the way down here. If you want, you can view in designer, or you can simply say next. Here, if you see, it is asking you these parameters. First is it is asking you a stack name. You can give any name. So say my demo lamp stack. I just gave a name. You can give any name. Then if you see, it is asking you for a set of parameters. Now, how and why is this parameters thing coming here? So if you come to your second section, parameter, this is where it is asking, this is where it is coming from. The first parameter is key name. So it says it is going to be a key name, a key pair, which is there in your machine. So first parameter is key name. So let me see, where is this key name thing here? See, this is key name. So here it says name of an existing EC2 key pair, which will help you to SSH into your machine. So you know that if I don't have a key pair, I will not be able to log in. So this is what I give. Then the second parameter is saying DB name, database user, and database password. Now, important thing to see here is that no echo true means it is a mandatory field. You cannot skip that field. It has to be provided. The description, they have given username for MySQL database. The type is string, means you have to enter characters. Minimum can be one and the maximum can be 16. And here it will allow small letters, capital letters, or numbers from 0 to 9, or any combination of this is allowed. Okay, so any special character is not allowed here. Just see here in DB username. Then in DB password also, it is saying minimum can be 1, maximum can be 41, and small letter, big letter, 0 to 9, and star means any combination is allowed. So this is password. Similarly, you have a DB root password, and then instance type. So you know that there is a variety of instance which is available. It says the default is going to be T2 small. Okay, but if you want, you can go with T1 micro, T2 nano, T2 micro, and there are a series of instances which are available. Now, in case you choose, let me say I2 2x large, there will be a hardware associated with it. So here is the constraint. Sorry, the hardware associated will come later, and just remember there is a hardware associated with that. Then there is a constraint description. It says it must be a valid EC2 instance type. Means you can choose anything, but within this category only. So let me say T2 micro is there. T5 micro is not there. So you cannot go and say T5 micro. Okay. So I'm going and I'll go here and show you this. So DB name, my database, or you can just come here and say demo database. Demo database. Okay. The password can be anything. I'll say pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Password for root also I'll give that to me. Pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who is your user? So let me say admin is my user. Instance type. So by default, it is taking T2 small. You can change it to T2 micro in case you want, or you can go for something big also, M1 small. Again, if you go for a bigger one, cost will be involved. Custom key pair, I have already provided, and SSH location. So SSH location, if you go back to your code, here is saying this is SSH location, and it should have something like this. So the first is a digit, which goes from 1 to 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, something like this. So it should be something like this. This should be there, else it will not work. So if you just come here and give something like this, let me say 1. If you do something like this, it will not be accepted. It will throw you an error. Okay, so you can't have an IP address like this. So if you give 0000, it is anywhere from IPv4. So this is what I've given. Now I'll say next. Now here, roll back all the stack. So if the stack is not complete, everything you roll back. Okay. Before that, there's a tag. Here it needs an IAM role. So I have already created IAM role. So I'll use that IAM role only. So if you remember, CloudFormation admin is what I've created. So I'll take this, go here. In failure, you roll back everything. Stack policy and all, you can leave everything like this. Notification, in a sense, if you want, you can send a notification to the concerned person. So my mail ID is configured here. So I will get a email here. Okay. In case you don't want, you can remove it. And then you can go ahead and say, create this stack for me. So it will take care of everything. And at the end, it will give you estimated cost. And here it will say, these are the values which you have passed. And with the help of that, I'm going to create a stack for you. Create a stack. So you will see the creation is in progress, and slowly, one by one, all the things will be created. So here you see web security group is getting created. Okay. Now come back to the code. So I saw 2 sections are there. I started with the first section, which is description, which told me what is there. What is the description? So this is the description. So I read the description. I came to know. The second section talks about parameters, where while creating the stack, what runtime variables you will pass is being spoken about here. DB password, DB username, instance type, root password, all these details I just gave right now. Okay. And finally, the SSH location. So these things were passed as parameter. So the first field is description. The second field is parameter. Now the third field is mapping. So if you launch an instance, I might have told you this, but I'll go ahead and tell you again. So if you launch an instance, let me say EC2 instance, and I am launching, let me say in Mumbai region. So let me come here. second. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I left something running. Okay, if you launch an instance, any instance if you launch, okay, you come to any operating system. Let me say this Amazon Linux only. Now this Amazon Linux has a AMI. If you click on this, this has an AMI. Let me take this AMI and copy this AMI. What happens? Oh, see, here is the AMI. This is the AMI ID of this. Now, if you see, this is very much specific to North Virginia. If I go and change the region from North Virginia, if I change it to, let me say, Mumbai. And if I look for the same AMI, which I just now copied, it will not be here. See here, no results were found. So the AMI is region specific. Okay. When you make choice of an instance, the hardware associated is very much specific to that. So that is put here in mapping. So in mapping, it says, if you use T2 Nano, you get this type of architecture. Okay. You get this kind of NAT architecture. And if you are in AP East 1, you get this type of, this type of instance AMI. If you are in US East 1, you might get this type of architecture or this type of AMI. If you see many places, it is not supported. So there are many things which are very much specific to a region. So that region specific thing is put in the mapping. So you can make a choice. You can make a choice of EC2 instance type. You can make a choice of other parameters. Based on that, it will work. So this is mapping. Then I'll come to resources. Then finally, the last section is your website URL, means output, the final output, what you're going to get. So you know that finally I'm going to get a EC2 instance, and that EC2 instance will be visible here. Now, the most important thing here is resources. When you talk about resources, it says what will be created and how it will be created. So here it is saying the type is AWS EC2 instance. In the metadata section, it will talk about the details. So here, if you see, it talks about the config set. So there are two, install and run. There are two sections. One is install and the other one is configuration. So if you come, you can write this code. Okay. So if you come, it talks about install, and in install, it is installing yum install MySQL, yum install MySQL server, yum install MySQL lib, HTTPD, PHP, PHP MySQL. Like this, it is installing so many softwares in this location. www var www HTML index.php. So you don't have to write these codes, whatever code they have written. Basically, it's a script. You don't have to write all these things, but in case you are asked, you should know how to read through this. Okay. And finally, there is a security group, and it says in security group port 80 and port 22 will be open. So 99.9% of the times the template will be given to you. You have to just take the template, do minor changes, put it here in your CloudFormation stack, and you have to make it run. That is all what you have to do. And you have to just run it with the proper IAM role. If you run it with a proper IAM role, in the output section, you will get the output. You can click on this and you will get the output. So it is saying using PHP 5.3.29, I am running a CloudFormation template for a PHP sample application. Okay. Now, we discussed about different ways in which we, now suppose I don't need this. Okay. I'm deleting this. We discussed about different ways in which I can get or I can start my work with this. So I spoke about designer. I spoke about sample template. Now I will say the template is ready. Means some developer has written the code and your manager is asking you to change the code. You don't know JSON, you don't know YAML, you don't know how to do this, but there is some change, some minor change which you have to do. Okay. So let me come here. Let me say here. So let me say my manager has given me a template. Just let me open this. So my manager gave me a code and he's telling you have to make changes here. I don't know how to make changes. So the template is ready. So I'll simply come here. Okay. And you can upload the template. If it is in S3 bucket, you can upload it. Or if it is in S3, you can give the URL or you can directly upload it. Okay. Or you can do one thing, go to designer, template in designer, and you copy paste the code here. Go to template section and you go ahead and whatever is there, you remove and put your own code. Then you can convert it into YAML or JSON, whatever you want, and you can refresh this screen. So if you refresh the screen, you will see that this is the code. Now you are able to understand at least that this has a EC2 instance and a security group. Now you can take this code again. Come here, put it like this. Now go ahead and try to see what is there in the code. So designer is something which is going to help you a lot. And here you will be able to work. See here again, description, parameter, mapping, resources, output. So you start with description. So it is telling CloudFormation sample template, EC2 instance with security group will be created. Fine, I understood this. Go to parameter. While creating this, it will ask me what type of instance would you want. So it starts with T2 small, but I can make all these changes. Then there is a constraint that EC2 instance must be provided and the IP range should lie within this range. Okay, so two constraints are there. Then if you go to mapping, again, the same thing will be there where it is saying that the instance type should be region specific. Like if I use AP Northeast 3, this can be my AMI. So you have to understand this. Once this is done, then resources. In resources, you have the instance type, you have the instance security group, and finally the output section where you have the output. So what you will get an instance ID, which availability zone it is, what is the public DNS name, public IP address, and all those details. So now you can go ahead and run this on your CloudFormation environment. Simply come here, go ahead and say next. So here T2 small is coming by default. I'll make it T2 micro. Key name, I will just go ahead with this one and I will simply say next. It says give me a stack name. I will say sample EC2. It says give me a IAM role. So this is the IAM role. Tag I'm not giving. On failure, you do a rollback and simply come here and say, I want to go ahead and create this stack. And then the stack will be created. So it is user initiated. So many times it will be either user initiated or it will be by the program. But here it is initiated by the user. So simply you can come here. And you can see the security group is already created. The instance so it is saying creation in progress. So here the stuff will be created one by one. All the items will be created. And you will be able to see the output in some time. Let me just refresh this guy. And you can see sample EC2 has been created. Now, if you go to output, in the output, it is saying in availability zone South, AP South 1A, You have an instance ID this much, the public DNS is this much, and the public IP is this much. If you click on this, it will take you to that particular location where this item has been created. Basically, it will take you to the EC2 screen. It's taking a lot of time. Let me directly go here. And you can see the EC2 instance running. And it has been created 6:41, which is just now. Okay. So once your work is done, we'll come back here. Once your work is done, you can go ahead and delete the stack. So this helps you to manage the infrastructure end to end. Okay. So any work which you want to do, you can easily manage the work. And that becomes very, very effective, very, very good when you are dealing with any infra management, any infra management. If you're dealing, that will become very, very effective. So I will request you to make sure that you are using this tool and you are trying to work with this. See, I am very much sure that first day only you will not become a master. So you can go ahead and take your time. Okay. Now AWS is done from my side. Okay. What you have to do is you will go ahead and do the revision for AWS, and for people who have completed DevOps, for them, you can go ahead and do both. You do the revision. I will start sharing the content with you. Means all the recordings I will share with you, all the PPTs I'll share with you, all the questions I'll share with you, interview questions, everything I'll start sharing with you. Resumes I'll start sharing with you. So you will prepare your own resume based on what skills you want. If you're looking for certification, you tell me which certification you're looking at, what you're actually targeting. So all those details you can start communicating on the WhatsApp channel. And from there, we can go ahead and take it ahead. So from my side, AWS is done. Okay. Any topic which you feel is not done or we can go ahead with that, you just let me know. When we meet next, we will go ahead and start working with those topics.
Vikas, will you be teaching on EKS also?
EKS is not part of this course, but I can share one demo in the sense I can share one, what you can say, a recording with you. So I teach EKS separately. Okay. So I can share one recording from my Docker Kubernetes class where I'm talking about EKS. It is end-to-end EKS thing.
Okay. Will it be shared along with this course, right? I mean,
yes, I can share it with you. That's not a big deal. I can share it with you. You just ping me in the WhatsApp group. I will share that link with you. So that is a recorded thing, so I can easily share with you. That's not at all a problem.
Okay, Vikas, thank you.
Yes, because even I need to know about EKS, ELK and EKS.
Yes, just drop me a message. I'll just put it in the group. Anyhow, I'll be sharing all the recordings. Okay. So in that recording only, we can put the EKS recording also together.
Okay.
But see, the most important is DevOps class will start. Yes. So DevOps class will start for people who have not done the DevOps thing. So yes, it will start. But for people who have completed DevOps and AWS both, we will want that you go ahead and revise everything. That is very important. Okay. Unless and until you revise, unless and until you come with relevant questions, you will not get benefit. So please revise, come back with relevant questions, and anytime you can ping me, I will be more than happy to answer whatever queries you have. Okay. Anything which you want, WhatsApp me. I will be sharing all the contents with you. If you want certification dumps, I can share those dumps with you. I will share other details. Everything I'll be sharing with you. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Vikas.
Okay, fine, guys. See you then.